Welcome to episode 3 of Lockdown with the Accies, where today I'm joined by arguably the three biggest dafties at Accies, Ellie Kane, Megan Quigley and Rachel Ross, and of course, as always, assistant manager Bobby Watson. How are you guys keeping at the time?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a bit bored all night.
Yeah, I'm a bit bored, just working, and that's it, really.
Right. I was saying to the girls last week about it feels like an absolute age since that last game at Stirling. I mean, you must just be absolutely desperate to just get back out playing again.
100%. I miss it so much. Not even just games, just see training. Just want to be back on the pitch, seeing everyone, kicking a ball, really.
The Christmas break was obviously meant to be a quick one, but now we're stuck kind of with another 2 months out. It just feels horrible. You don't know the next time you will be back playing games. We just want to get the season finished at this rate, but we don't know when it's going to be.
What have you been doing to keep yourself occupied? Obviously, you and Ellie are both at university, and Rachel, you're working. So, what have you kind of been doing apart from that as well?
Well, I work like most days, and then I finish work and I go on my other computer to do my uni work, and then I'll go out and either like take my niece to the park, go on a run or whatever. But like, it's the same thing every single day, to be honest.
It just gets repetitive, doesn't it? Obviously, how are you finding working from home on like for the uni stuff?
Nah, especially working from home, I don't mind so much the uni side of it, but like I miss going into the office and stuff and seeing my work pals, and like when you need help and all this, and I'm stuck here like just twiddling my thumbs. But
I love how you say work pals.
my work pals,
Not my colleagues, my work pals.
work pals, my uni pals, my football pals, they're all different.
Right. So moving on, we're going to have a look through all your kind of footballing career so far. So we'll start with you, Ellie. I believe you were playing in America for a wee bit before you joined the Accies. Like, how was that kind of experience? Because a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, like it didn't work out, but it was still like such a good experience. I've still got friends like that are over there and ones that have came home that I still keep in touch with and still try and see when I can. Obviously, like the uni side of it, that was a lot different. I thought their uni was a bit mad, to be honest. I was in drama classes and all that, so I didn't really like that side of it, but the football was like definitely the best. It was so warm all the time and you were getting to go like different states and all that. It was so like that was my favourite part of it, was the getting to go to other like states and play different teams. But yeah, like even though it didn't work out, I'd say like I definitely don't regret it, and it was something that I would recommend, definitely.
Right. So I'm pretty sure that you represented Scotland at youth level as well.
Yeah, under 17s and 19s.
What was that experience like?
I loved that. Obviously I knew a lot of the girls. Some of them were my teammates at the time, and that was like the same thing, like getting to go away and see different countries and that. There's some places that I would have never ever went to if I hadn't had the chance to play for Scotland. So the players and that played alongside, like played with Shannon McGregor and Sam Kerr and all them, and they were so good, and getting to train with them all the time was a good experience. So yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yep. So since arriving at Accies, you've played 31 games and you've scored 5 goals. And your only goal this season was that fluke lob against Glasgow Girls, wasn't it?
That was not a flick. That was absolutely not a flick. That was a perfectly timed chip. Yeah. Probably need to add a few more goals to the stats, I think.
Yeah, I was just going to ask what you thought about those stats, if you wanted to add more, if you were quite content with that. Obviously, considering you're on the wing as well, you don't always score when you play in the wing.
Yeah, definitely would like to add to that. I've not ever really been like that big a goal scorer, but I've never really played in that position so high up the pitch. So it is definitely something that I think I should improve upon, and hopefully when we get to play again, then I maybe will.
Yep. I believe that Big Andy, he calls you Hollywood. What's the thinking behind that?
I don't know. I think it's to do with my starring in the Accies quizzes and stuff like that. And me and Megan did them last year at the media day. We done the takeover and stuff, and like my interviews were a bit I don't know, no, they weren't great. So it was, I think, a bit of a wind up for my bad interview skills that I came across Hollywood.
as I was saying earlier on, every person that's come on here has said that you're the most craziest and loudest teammate. Would you agree with that?
I can't agree with that. Yeah, I probably am. Dion gives me a run for my money sometimes. She's a bit Melanie, but yeah, probably, definitely me actually.
Right. So moving on to you, Rachel. You spent like the earlier days of your career at Rangers. What was it like kind of playing with like a team that's regular in the SWPL one?
Being at Rangers was a great experience, especially youth level. I learned so much there and played with some unbelievable players. I think we went 3-4 seasons unbeaten, didn't lose a game. So it was probably, apart from Accies, the best place I've played my football. No, it was. I can't fault my time at Rangers, especially youth.
Obviously, Rangers have gone on to become full-time this year and they've signed a whole kind of range of top-class players. Do you think they've kind of got a good chance of winning the title this year? Obviously, Glasgow City are normally the dominant team, but do you think they've got a good chance of winning it?
Well, I think if you look at the result against Glasgow City before the break, I think that speaks for itself. They set a marker for the rest of the season, and I think for the rest of Scottish women's football. I mean, it's been a while. I don't think a City ever been beaten by a Scottish team by that much, let alone at home. So I think that speaks volumes for their team already, and they've added a couple of names since then. So I think they're just going to go strength from strength the more time they spend. So I put them favourites to win the season, yeah, if it continues, hopefully.
Yep. So you joined Accies in 2018, and I'm pretty sure you made your debut against Rangers as well in the Scottish Cup, if I'm right.
Yeah, I did. I think I left Rangers maybe less than a week before that game, and then played against them in the cup, and we beat them in the cup. Actually, knocked them out. So, I mean, I don't think I could have asked for a better game.
I think you went on at centre midfield as well, and you looked at me and were like, "What am I meant to do?" And I was like, "Just get in the road," something like that, something after that.
Break down the play, and I think my first touch of the ball was a shot for the edge of the box that just went wide, and I was like, "Oh no!" Gilingo's hat-trick won the game.
Right. So just lastly, you've made 38 appearances for Accies and you've scored one goal against Hibs in 2018. I imagine you'll remember that one well, because it's the only one you've scored.
And then we conceded 2 minutes later. I think it was my mistake as well. So it was a good one to remember. No, I don't score many goals, as you can tell.
That's the defenders aren't expected to score goals unless, I mean, like you're 6'6", which you're not, you know what I mean? So
you're Georgie Mackey.
Exactly, unless you're Georgie Mackey, exactly.
Well, yeah, when we signed Rachel, we played a game. We played Rangers earlier on the season, and Rachel played it right back. And our wide player at the time, Joanne Payton, and Rachel basically just kicked her up and down for 30 minutes. and Joanne had been playing well, and she played really well against City the week before, and I think we lost 2 or 3-1. And then Rachel just smashed her up and down. Honestly, for about 30 minutes, just didn't give her a kick of the ball, and we were like, need to keep an eye on what she's doing. So as soon as she came available, we were like, oh, definitely. And that's a game that still sticks out. I
think that was like the only 90 minutes I played for Rangers ladies in my entire time there. So at least I went out in a high.
Right. So moving on to you, Megan. You're the only player that came through the youth academy that's actually still playing in the Accies first team. What was it like kind of coming through the ranks at Accies? Because I'm pretty sure you played at every single age group.
I think I joined the under 13s. Is that right, Bob?
Under 13s.
I joined, I think, under 13s. We didn't have an under 9s, I don't think, at that point. So I think I did start at the lowest team. And then every year after that kind of just blurred into one, to be honest. Like, it's hard when I think back to like differentiate the years. They just still blurred into like one, and then I just moved into the first team. And I've been up there for a few seasons now, but I've loved every minute. I couldn't imagine playing a different club, to be honest.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I believe that you made your debut and you were just 15, so would you still been playing, under 15s or something at that point?
I think so. I was a child at that point, and I was kind of just thrown in. We were in a bit of a rubbish situation, and I was kind of just flung in. But after that, it was kind of just in and out for a few years until I kind of settled in.
I think you were playing like under 15 football, and then the next week it was like, right, you're marking Joe Love. It was honestly that's what it was like, because like Megan was under 15s, just one of the players who could probably physically deal with playing an hour at that level at the time. And I just remember that we get absolutely battered as well, but you know.
That was definitely one of the worst days, one of the worst days of my life. At Airdrie Stadium, at my home grounds, I was embarrassed in my hometown.
Brilliant. So you've made 64 appearances for Accies, which is brilliant actually, considering you're only 21. And Bobby's telling me you might be an Accies legend in the making as well.
I mean, you need to get to 100 appearances now. All Ando and Quinny have got there, so you need to
Time shut from my wall.
build a statue of you outside the stadium.
Exactly. Outside the rent.
Jeez, imagine the length of the legs in that statue.
Triceps, man.
Can you ever see yourself leaving Accies, or can you just see your whole career being spent at Accies and, as we said earlier, just gonna be an Accies legend at some point?
No, I love the club. I've never really considered ever leaving. And I've given so much, like growing up at the club from when I was so young, and like now I'm 21. It's almost like 10 years. So like they've given me so much over the time that I couldn't imagine ever leaving and going somewhere else and putting my time in elsewhere. So I think I will carry on at the club, and hopefully I do get on the pitch enough times this season to make 100 appearances, but we'll just need to wait and see. It won't be my own doing it anyway that I'll leave the club unless Bobby's got some.
Just to kind of finish off, as we said, we'll go through a couple of quick fire questions. So we'll just obviously, we can get an answer off all these. So the first question I've got here is the best goal you've scored.
The only goal I've scored, probably. I think.
What one was that?
Stirling, the Bobby eye.
That was your first goal, yeah.
That was the first goal. Probably that one then, to be honest.
Could make a good list of headed chances you've missed.
We're waiting on the bicycle kick working. Once it comes off.
Make sure you keep this out, and then you can put this back in the end of the season when I've scored the bicycle kick.
But we need to also have a highlight reel of every attempt throughout the season, because they're just getting better and better.
Cool. What's your best goal, Ellie?
You know what? I'm actually being serious. I can't remember any of my other goals. I don't know. I can't even remember scoring any other goals.
Bobby.
Or Hutchinson Vale, 19th goal, and you said
the 17th. This was my first goal for Accies. We were playing away at Hutchinson Vale, and it was on this grass pitch in like a housing estate. And I came on like half an hour to go, and it was already like 14-0 when I came on. And I scored the 17th goal, and I went I was on the neck. Fully embarrassed. So yeah, I'm not going to give myself that one. It will need to just be Glasgow Girls. That's the only one I can remember.
Same game, that Hutchinson Vale game, the one you thought you'd scored that hit the massive pothole and jumped up and by the post.
Sums me up, to be honest.
I was going to ask you the same question, Rachel, but you've obviously only scored one for Accies, but did you score any for Rangers?
So many to pick from. It's just, I can't pick one. No, actually, my first goal I scored for Rangers was probably my favourite. Not even because of the goal, but just because it was like I think maybe the 15th, 16th goal. Nobody was celebrating at this point, and I scored it, and my mum ran up and down the side of the pitch going mental, and everyone was looking at her like she was a nutter. And then she realised and was embarrassed, and she's never to this day lived it down. So for that, I think that's my favourite goal, purely for her.
What's your proudest moment in football?
Well, mine's making my Scotland debut against Germany at Tory Glen in front of all my family. I think it's something I'll never forget. Not just the experience of being able to represent Scotland, but having like my gran, my grandpa, like my whole family there to see it was something super special.
Probably making my debut when I was 15, and then having the heart to come back and play again afterwards. And no patting it in.
Just have your cameo appearance.
Probably that, I would say, because I was so young. But
what about you, Ellie? The 17th goal against Hutchinson Vale?
Undoubtedly. No, mine was, well, I don't know really. I'd say the first time I played for Scotland but my first actual game, my family couldn't be there. It was like a game against Finland or something like that. So that was like a proudest moment for me. But like my favourite one was when I was captain at Central and we won the Scottish Cup, because all my family was there. So that was like my favourite day ever.
Did you not score that game?
Aye, that was that game. I scored that one for like I don't know.
40-yard breaker into top win.
Is that not your favourite goal?
I feel like yeah, probably, because that was the first goal of the game, and yeah, it's a Scottish Cup final.
Cool. Who's the toughest player that you have played against?
I would say probably I'd probably just go and say the full Hibs midfield. Just because of how dynamic they are, how quick they are, and they're so hard to play against every single game. It's just never easy. So I'd probably say,
the Easter Road game, they were good, eh?
yeah.
I think it was Lisa Robertson, Rachel Boyle. I think Rachel Boyle played that game. Like Lizzie Arnott and Abby Harrison and all that. Shannon McGregor played. Jamie Lee was playing. Julie Napier. They were quality.
Shannon McGregor is really, really. This is the one that always stands out. Like every time we were at camping, that I could never get near her in drills, and I've only actually played against her the one time, and it was this season against Hibs, and she was the exact same. So either Shannon McGregor or Nick Dock, because Nick Dock had gymmed me at Peters Hill last year, and I've never recovered. Like she showed a Bursman actually went right out the pitch, like on my stomach, and I was so embarrassed. So yeah, either Shannon or Nick Dock.
Mine has got to be Erin Cuthbert. Like, there's no question about it. I think I've maybe played against her a couple of times, but I played with her at Rangers for maybe 3-4 years and just training with her, and I've never played against anyone like her. She's a different league from everyone else. So definitely Erin.
She's not done too bad for herself, has she?
She's doing all right.
Was earlier on that she came on, or she was playing against this one game or something like that, and she absolutely tore us a new one.
But that was the game that Quiggs made their debut in. It was like Cuthbert, Joe Love, Hayley Lauder was like their midfield three. And like we literally never got off the 18-yard line. We spent the whole game just chasing people about. Poor Megan's just chucked in. Like I say, 1 week playing under 15 football, next minute you're chasing those three about.
Yep. What's your most embarrassing moment? There must be a couple of stories in there. You've just told us one, obviously getting absolutely thrown off the park by Nick Dock.
Do you remember last year when I came on against Hearts, and within like 2 minutes I got like bluttered in the face with a ball, and Fiona nearly ran on the pitch because she thought I'd been knocked out. I didn't even want to get up after that. I was just lying there. Megan, I know yours.
But I'm gonna say it.
I know it.
It was at Peters Hill. I can't remember last season. And it's Glasgow Girls, and we were having an absolute howler of a game. And we were I'm sure we were trying to get the winner at this point, and we were getting so frustrated and trying to score, and it was snowing. And like we were just having a mare try to run about this pitch, and LGTV threw me the ball up the line, and I tried to go get it, but I was looking behind me, and I just had a mare, like I slipped both sides, but I was so physically done by this point. I just lay there on the ground, and you can hear Gary screaming in the background, Megan, get up, and everyone's just screaming at me, but I was just lying on the ground like embarrassment. I just couldn't get up.
I'm trying to think of it. Like, I've had some howlers on the pitch mistake-wise, but nothing that's. I'm trying to think of something that's actually like embarrassing.
You seem to go. Rachel seems to go through a sort of. We'll go like 4 or 5 games, they'll be fine, and then we'll be like 2 concussions in 2 weeks and things like that, or pick up knocks. You see,
I suppose
concussions seem to follow you about. You've been quite unlucky with them, even.
I mean, to be fair, most of them are my fault. So
getting that big heat in the road of things.
The one against Aberdeen was quite bad, to be fair. The girl was literally a yard away from me, and I decided to slide tackle.
If you could change one thing about football, what would you change? A lot of people have obviously the previous people have said that the 4 o'clock kickoffs are a bit of a pain, but I don't know if that's just because obviously they've got kids and stuff like that, so they want to get home and like obviously make the dinner stuff like that. But what's it like for you younger ones? Do you usually care about the 4 o'clock kickoffs?
I'm not a big fan, but they're not that bad. They're better than like a 10 o'clock kick-off and you have to travel away, but they're not too bad.
I'd rather get the stadium and play at 4 o'clock than play somewhere else just so you can get it earlier. It doesn't bother me like that much.
I mean, I prefer 2 o'clock kickoffs, but the 4 o'clock ones aren't too big a deal for me, so I'm not that fussed.
I really hate like how long like summer breaks are and that. I wish it was kind of like a thing in the summer, like tournament. I don't know. I just find that. I don't know if this is just because I've not got a life, but when the end of the season comes and that, I feel like it goes on for ages, and I didn't like it. I prefer we just kept playing.
Yeah, the one thing about COVID that I liked when we started back is with a game like every single week.
Yeah.
Whereas like see in a usual season we would have had like played the 3 games and another week off. Or if we get booted out the cup, which was probably likely, then we would have had another week off. But
I can see you're confident.
but I'd say that then. Because I liked that. I liked playing every single week, so I'll probably agree with Ellie. Like just we don't need that big break. I'd want to play more games, I think, and just while we can. Because COVID's made us realise that we could just be taken away from us and instantly.
Who's the daftest teammate? Obviously, this one will be quite interesting considering everybody thinks it's Ellie. So, what do you think?
Definitely Dion.
That's what I think.
Dion?
It's 100% Dion. Dion or Danny Conley.
Dion actually is probably the funniest person. Like, I don't even think she tries to be funny, but everything she does makes me laugh. She's so daft.
Do you think you mentioned that last week as well? She was quite quiet about that. She was like fully confident. She didn't even hint that she might have been the daftest. Like, she just kept it all so quiet.
To be fair, Ellie's daft like out of drills, but Dion's like daft out of drills and in drills.
She's a session.
Like she constantly.
Just lastly, what are your plans for after you finish football?
I want to move to Australia. So if Accies might move over there with me, that'd be fine. But yeah, that's probably what I'll do.
Why's that?
Well, my brother lives there, and he's got a little girl, and then he's having another girl next month, and I've obviously like missed quite a lot of time with them, so I'd want to see them for like at least a year and get to know them a bit better, because I've only met mother and niece twice, so I want to do that for like at least a year, maybe get a job if I like it, and then I mean it's sunny like all the time and it's a total different life.
That sounds good. What about you, Megan and Rachel?
I'm the same. I'm kind of just focusing now on getting my degree and just still enjoying playing football, and then hopefully when I get my degree, then same as Ellie, I'm kind of looking at moving away to Australia or somewhere like that, and because these winter seasons are absolutely getting me. I want to go to the sun. I'm sick of being freezing cold, so probably just that. But I'm just focusing now and just enjoying every week.
Cool. What about yourself, Rachel?
I don't know. I plan on playing for as long as I can, and I mean centre backs seem to get to play a bit longer than most folk because we do the least amount of running. So maybe I'll be able to continue a bit longer. But I don't know. I might have to take up like golf or something boring like that just to pass the time. I don't plan on going to Australia or anything following those two, but we'll see. Who knows at that point in my life.
Rachel, Megan and Ellie, thanks very much for coming on today and best luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.